Hey guys, it's Michael here at Energy Worker University, and I've got something I've been working on for 2 years to show you guys. This is amazing, and first off, I'm going to show you guys kind of the basis or the essence of what this is. So here's the basis of it. The basis is like a lot of times people are like they're in the higher energies, but they feel like they're distorted. They can't focus on anything. They're always out there because of their vibration is going to be always so much higher. It's no longer like in frequency of this level here. So, and that's a problem. That's a problem because the higher frequencies, they're great for like being in those higher frequencies, but what's the use of the higher energies if you can't bring the lessons from the higher down to here? So what I'm going to show you guys today is how to bring the higher energies and grounding them into yourself to where you get to have your psychic abilities here while being grounded. So you're in a high vibration, but you are now grounded. So it's the higher vibration that is grounded. And I have named this God grounding. Basically, you'll find out what that means in a sec, but that is the basis behind it right now. So going forward here, like how this works. All right, now I want to stress something right here. Now I'm going to draw a person right here. Okay, let's say this is you. Okay. Okay. Yes, your little stomach here, and there's your legs. Anyways, let's say that's you. Okay. Okay, that's backwards on my screen apparently. But let's say that's you. Now, this is not going to work unless your heart center is working here. This will not work without the heart center. Without the heart center, this whole thing is useless. And here's why. The heart center is basically where the soul sits. All right, that's where the soul is. And it's also the last place that heat is also going to stop radiating when you die or when you're sick or anything else. Your core is always going to be where the heat is residing here. And by the way, for the Q&A, I'll answer questions as I go along at some different points, but I'm not going to watch the Q&A until at certain points during the video so I can focus here. All right. Now, what this entails is like the first part of it is getting in contact with your soul. And what you're going to do, as I've taught you guys so far, is like if you go back to my video on finding your soul, you're falling into yourself and you're falling into the heart and finding the soul. And that starts to open a line of communication between the higher you and the lower you. And that communication is very important because it starts to lead you basically in the direction you want in your life. So like when I go in there and I say, what do you want to show me today, or what can you show me to guide in my ascension, or what can you show me today? It starts to guide you along that path. Or you go and ask like, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Can you show me where I'm going? Maybe you won't get an audible answer. Maybe you'll get something that shows you in that direction. So once that contact is open, something starts to happen. All right, I want you to visualize your mind as, let's say this is your mind here, this whole thing. All right, let's say that whole thing is your mind. All right, now let's say here, this is your subconscious right here. And let's say this is your conscience. All right, follow me so far? All right, now the subconscious is protected by what I like some people come to call the veil. Now the veil is very important. It's to keep you here and to learn your lessons here. But this is all going to change with what I'm about to show you guys here, and where you guys will be able to have a new experience. All right. So, we've got your conscious here, we've got the subconscious. The subconscious is where the higher self resides. This higher self is not the subconscious, it's just where it resides. So, the subconscious is where the higher self is sending all the messages over to the conscious side, whether through dreams or feelings like you don't really feel like this person is going to be very good to you. That's the subconscious, that higher being of yourself telling you that. Or when you get like a flash of insight, that's the higher self communicating to you. You know, you can have your spirit guides and other energies coming into you, but a lot of that is the higher you that comes in. Now that you have this understanding, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be erasing this curtain. This curtain is going to, by the end of this whole process, the curtain is not going to be there. The boundaries are going to be there. There's going to be basically a merging of identities where like you have your lower identity and you have your higher identity. So let's say this is your higher up here. Okay, that's your higher. And we have our lower identity. Identify identity up here. Okay, and let's say these two are merging. Right? Now, these two are going to merge by the end of this. And what will happen is when you have that merging of identity here, you now get to wake up, so to speak, as with new eyes, as the higher you. You get to be the God self. And yes, this is a very bold claim, I understand. But, there's a lot of people that have already discovered this part here. And, you see that a lot of people, like a lot of times in other, like with the I ams, like if you guys have ever heard that, or even what Kelly's doing with Dwayne. And now I would like to show you like something that I've been working on with 2 years, and this is something that came across my path when I was developing this as well. And here's where it becomes important. This, what I'm about to show you here, is going to allow you to be the God self, grounded here in your body, is what I'm saying. You get to have your psychic abilities and everything while being grounded, and you're not like off in the distance here. You can do that still, but you get to be here and have all those energies where they're useful. Where now anything you've learned up here, you get to ground into here, because the higher energies, what will usually happen, let's say, okay, this is another you here. The higher energies are all flowing through you here. Let's say that those are all the higher energies. But what will happen is over time, they are all going to dissipate. But here, what we're doing is we're grounding the higher energies into us where they become a part of us. And how is this done? All right. Now that you guys have the general kind of understanding, there is some more intricacies in here, but I don't want to burden you guys with all of the ins and outs and stuff. But before we get to that, let's see if we have any questions so far. Okay. Okay, we have a hello. Okay, we have a hello. Okay. If there's any more questions, I'll be taking questions in about 5 more minutes again. So if you have any more questions, put them up there on the question board if you have any questions about what I'm talking about so far. All right. Now, here's how this happens. All right. Okay. You have as you know, you have the 7 chakras. Okay, I'm going to just draw them out to the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's put a 7 right there. There's your 7. But what most people don't know is there's other chakras beyond that up here. All right, and there's also one down here. And thank you, Kim Grandal, for pointing this lower one out here down to me and its existence out. This is called the Earth Star chakra. And some of you who follow Kim's stuff know what this already is here. All right, now the higher energies up here are part of that higher self, so to speak. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be calling the energies down through here, down through the crown, down through the third eye, down through the throat, until they meet here in the heart. All right, so the lower energies from the Earth star and the higher from like the higher self meet in the middle. Now, why is this? It's because the higher energies that are you come into here, but the lower energies from the Earth star come together and balance them together to now you are being grounded here. So where it's pretty much you're grounded here, and that part of you is now being contained. Now the next phase of this, of how, like, now that's coming into being, and when you're calling that higher self down, you're like, whether it's you're calling it with your energy or whether you're giving that intention to call it, you're just calling it, and you're also drawing the energies up here into you. What's going to happen is when they meet in the middle, that's where they become to coexist and also start to interact with the soul. And the spirit, as I like to call it, spirit is the higher self that is you, and that veil begins to disappear. Follow me if you guys have any questions. If you follow me so far, I'm going to see if there's any more questions. Okay, questions. No questions so far. All right. So what you do, you got until it's in the center. Now that it's in the center, you want to be like a star. You want to feel that you're a star, and you also want to visualize yourself as a star. And now what do I mean by that? All right. All right, let's say this right here is your core, where the heart center is, where all the energies meet from up here and here. Let's say that's where the energies meet. All right. Okay, let's drop better arrows. But let's say that's where they all meet, right here. Now let's say here's you. Okay, that is where the core, where all the energy needs to be concentrated. But now, if you want to be expanded at the same time, you want to be like the sun's corona, which is out a distance. Your auritic field is going to expand. So I want you, when you are going, you want to expand that auritic field outwards. You want to keep expanding, but you're keeping here concentrated. So you're getting all this information out here, but it's staying concentrated, and all that energy is coming in and being grounded into you. Now, for the next step here, after this, and I'm just giving you guys the basic layover of what this is, and there's some more intricacies to this. But as I said, you want to move and let the energy trickle down into your solar plexus. So you want to have the energy trickle down through into the solar plexus here. All right, see, I want to have that trickle down into the solar plexus right there. Now, what this does is, I like to call the solar plexus, basically what will happen here is everything from that energy is going to expand outward into the rest of your body. So it's literally going to start transforming your body. So it's pretty much like send all to every part of your body and your energy field. So let's say this is you. Okay. Okay, let's say that's your stomach. Okay. Here's your heart. Here's your solar plexus. Okay. Energy trickles down into the solar plexus. Then it begins. Then you want to feel that energy spreading through your arms and legs, through your heart, through your chest, through your navel, through your sacral chakra, your root, your heart, your throat. You want to have that expand your third eye, your crown. You want it through your hair, everything. You want to feel that energy start to transform you so that the spirit part of you can be in you. And, some people like to say that, and this is my understanding, that, it's instantaneous. Like some people say, like, I instantaneously have my third eye open. And for some people, that can happen. But for some people, it's a slow understanding that starts to come into them. And then they wake up one day and they get to see that. It's kind of like after so much training, over time, it finally all clicks. So what the benefits of this are is now that like I'm here and all the energy is being grounded into me, so I have that higher vibration, but also that grounding energy to keep me stable. I'm in a higher vibration that's keeping me grounded. I'm allowed to stay in that higher vibration, so where I'm interacting with everyone else and else's frequency, as I said here, I'm interacting with everyone's frequency here, but I'm at this frequency. And the reason that we're allowed to interact at this frequency is because now that the heart is active, we can now have a heart-to-heart connection. So let's say this is another person over here. I'm going to draw them real quick. Let's say this is another person. Okay. Now we can have a heart-to-heart conversation. So for those of you that feel like you can't interact with people anymore, this heart-to-heart connection is what's going to keep you there. That is how, like, I'm going to use Jesus as an example. He was in a higher vibration all the time, but what happened was he had that heart-to-heart connection, and he was able to talk to people, and if they listened. So when that heart-to-heart connection is there, that's how you're communicating, but you're now grounded to where you can be at that spot, somewhere now you can understand them, if that follows. And now you can have your psychic abilities all the time without having to go sit down and meditate. You can go still do that, and you can be out in the higher energies, so to speak. But now you can have the energies always constantly coming in. And as I spoke in my video about resonance the other day, that resonance field, like, that's what I'm talking about. The energies are grounding into you, and that's why you have these challenges here. So you're grounding the higher lessons, and they are being grounded into you. So now they have resonance to your frequency, and they're no longer dissipating. They become a part of you. Now, I'm going to take you guys through this of what it feels like. And I've already done this where it's a state of being now. But now is what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through all of this. All right, now before I do, I'm going to take some questions. Okay. There's some haters out here. Oh well. Delete question. All right. Now, here's where we're going to go here. Now that we have all this put together, we're going to take the energies from the higher and we're going to bring them into the lower, and they're going to merge right here. And the basis of all of this is the heart. And that's how we connect to people. And that's how Jesus connects with people. And some people will say, like, what is the Christ consciousness? What is the Christ consciousness? It's a state of being that allows you to feel and empathize with other people while being at that higher vibration and being able to take the things from the higher frequencies and the higher dimensions and allowing them to come into you. Now, here's the first step. First, take a deep breath. Kind of get calm. Now feel the higher self, the part of you that is that God consciousness. Feel that part of you in the soul, that heart center. You might even see a light at first, as I've showed you in the last video. And this is all within your mind's eye. Feel it. And you'll feel a sense of love, understanding. Now, for those of you that don't know how to reach the higher chakras here, and you'll be able to do this in a more advanced way later, I want you to either with your voice call the higher being into you to where it settles into the heart center, and then bring up the energy from the earth, from that earth chakra, heart star that's just below your feet. That's part of you. Bring that up. Now that they're settled here, once you've got them settled and they're concentrated here, expand your auric field outwards, but keep it contained here. You want to be like a star. Expand, expand, expand outwards, but be grounded here. All right, now that you got that, move the energy from the heart center and let it trickle down into your solar plexus. And now that the energy will start to transform you and begin this process. And as I said, this can take a bit. And, it may not happen immediately, but the things that aren't glamorous in your lives, sometimes they're the most worth it things, like being a parent. It's glamorized, but when you actually get into it, how glamorous is it actually? But it's worth it in the end. And this is what it is. Like, it may not be as glamorous as telekinesis or anything, but this allows you to be grounded in interacting with other people, but allows you to experience that higher consciousness of where now you are here as the higher being, and you remember everything. The veil will no longer be there, to where it's you. It's just you. There's no separation anymore between the two identities. It's just you. Anyways, I'll take any further questions here. All right. No further questions here that are here to answer. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys later. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. Subscribe, and have a great week. Love y'all.